Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's set of readings. This should be on YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. Currently, I am doing in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. If you're near there, feel free to shoot me an email if you want more details. The decks and stuff that I'm using, that's below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Capricorn? I like what we're seeing, but I'm like, we gotta get the whole thing out. Whew. This can work. There needs to be... This can work. I don't know. I keep saying it, but I'm like, what is this? Something here can work. It can definitely work. What does it take to make that happen? You're in more control than maybe you realize. You're more in control than you realize? Okay. That's interesting. I saw this. Open up to your spiritual gifts. All right. So this, whatever this is, Capricorn doesn't go towards anything that's not worth it. So you're not even going to be interested unless it actually has value. So starting this right off, you're not going to even go towards it. It's not even going to be a consideration unless you see the actual value in your life. It's going to take some uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to have to move out of my comfort zone. Not permanently, but I'm going to have to get outside of it and really feel it out if I'm really going to have what I want. And there's something here that you want. There's something, it feels big to me. And it's like, doing this, I've got to move myself forward. And I feel like for you, you know what this is more. It's kind of like, I gotta give this a shot. Makes me nervous. Nothing here is set in stone. And if it's going to work, I feel like I have to venture forward and I have to dig up this situation to find out, is it going to work? Is the value there? I'm going to have to dig up the value and find out, is it really there? This is the Temperance card, which is interesting to me. Whatever this is, there's two things here. It just showed up really out of the blue is what I'm getting. Could be a financial prospect, could be a romantic prospect, could be something where I'm like, that looks good for me, could be anything that makes sense to you, where it just kind of like just showed up. It was just there. If it's a person, I don't think I was looking to meet anybody, but they crossed my path and I'm like, oh, they got your attention. They got your attention. Doesn't have to be romance, but why do we keep touching on that? If it is, I feel like the other person was just as shocked as you. Just as shocked as you. Okay. If it's financial, like it's a piece of land, a business opportunity, a job, I also feel it's not like nothing was planned. I keep getting like nothing was planned where it showed up. It's just kind of like I found out that this was there and I found out that they're interested and I'm just like, wow. There is something about a friendship here in the sense of like that person matches my life, but for some reason I'm like, I don't know if this is really a good thing for me because I feel like I have like a wasteland behind me of people who screwed me over. So I'm like, there might be something like that. Whatever it is, it showed up out of the blue. And I do feel like it makes you nervous, but it's also like, oh, that could be really cool for me. That could be really cool for me. But I need more information. This is very... Let me just be sure, because this is interesting to me. Because okay. Four of Swords reversed, and the High Priestess in the future, more in the future. I keep getting like somebody's coming. I think it depends on what you're dealing with. It could be this is somebody that you met already, but you don't know. It could be somebody you've met already. Maybe you even said hello and exchanged names or something. Something like that. Could be. Could be. But it's like when it says somebody new is coming, you might have technically met them, but you don't really know them. For others of you, no, I feel like you know of this person at this point. I feel like you do know of this person at this point. I do. And I'm getting that Six of Pentacles kind of like, I just don't know if this is smart for me to move forward to this. Now I say this person, it could be a business prospect, whatever it is. I feel like I got just enough information to know it exists. I don't have enough to say I understand what's really going on there. Kind of like if there's a plot of land, for example, it's kind of like, I know it's there, I know where it's located. I just don't know what's on that land or what the quality of the land is. I don't know the history of it, if there's been things on there, if there's a building or anything. I don't know. I don't know any of that type of stuff. So the question is, what is going to happen with it? Because I keep getting like things are inching forward, but they're inching forward at such a rate that it's kind of like, is it really going to go anywhere? It is inching forward, but I get like, it's not enough momentum to create something. But if you see something here that you want to know more about, if you actively step forward, and this isn't committing to anything. This is kind of like, I need to know what's real there because it's got my attention. I feel like that's where we're hitting on this one. That's got my attention. I need to know what's real because I feel like if I'm not, it's taking up space in your brain. If I'm not researching it a little bit, I just feel like it kind of rolls around in your brain every now and then, and it just inches. And because I think the reason it's inching forward is because like some information just kind of comes your way here and there, or you're like, you notice something and you kind of read it or look at it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, that's over that way too. Oh, that's interesting. But it's not enough to create enough value to anchor you in or lock you into anything. Not that you need that anyway at this point, but it's kind of like, I haven't found the reason to where that's cool, that I want. That hasn't happened yet. But I feel like these little inchings forward, half quotes there. Nothing happens if you don't choose it. Well, that's kind of good for Capricorn, right? Nothing happens if you don't choose it. Why would you want something to happen if you weren't choosing it? Right? I don't think that's bad. But they're saying, we're trying to give you reasons, or trying to give you like a heads up, like look over here. Get into that and find out what that's about. You don't have to commit to anything. Just get in there and find out what's happening. Find out if that is for you. Is that for you? Is that something you want? Especially when this is coming in. These are not angel cards. What are these? Are these angel cards? Archangel Michael cards. So yeah, I guess they are. All right, then they are. I'm getting, it says, trust that the information coming to you is not haphazard. It may feel like it may look like it, but in a spiritual sense, they're like, no, we're throwing this at you for a reason. Like, we want you just to look deeper. Please look deeper. Because we want you to see it there, because there's value there for you, but you have to unearth it. Which I don't feel like is a great investment, but I can understand some of you may be like, well, that's going to take a bit of effort that I'm not sure I want to give into this situation. Fair. That's fair. I understand that. There's more inching forward. Ironically, it's the inching forward that makes me uncomfortable. Because I feel like I have to do something here. I have to invest a little. It's the uncomfortable thing. The uncomfortable energy. Ace of Wands. Four of Wands. I think this is the Page. It could be the Knight. I don't know. I don't know in this deck. It feels more like the Page to me, just to be fair. In the sense of like something is really exciting, but when it comes to the Page of Cups in Capricorn, that's kind of like, that's cute. That looks fun. I don't really know if I can do anything with it, but that looks fun. The thing is, when I'm saying this, the normal response that Capricorn has is like, you can hang out. You're fine. I'm not going to worry about you, but I'm not sure I'm going to overly invest in that either. It's kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not upset about it, but I'm not really over investing in it either. They're saying this is when, like, you're finding something interesting. You're finding something like, oh, that's alluring. I don't know really if I can do anything with it. Find out. That's the whole thing. Find out. Stepping into the spotlight is coming up on the cards with the Six of Wands, which is success. And then the King of Pentacles. You don't have to commit to anything. I feel like that's obvious. I feel like you already know that without me even saying that. But I feel like they're trying to reiterate it just to remind you. Just because you look deeper into something, it's kind of like, whatever this is, it's kind of like, say it's a job thing. All right, this job seems like it's a nice place. People seem to like it. Maybe go take a tour of it. Call up, send an email. What do you ever got to do? Do you give tours of your place? Do you know, does anybody, like, would anybody be willing to explain what's going on? I would just like to look around before I get too deep into this. If it's a job offer, maybe filling out whatever desired paperwork there is might be required, and then asking if you can get a tour. I don't think that's that bad, but I'm also remembering, it's been a while, quite a while. I just remember one application process I had to do. It seemed like it was like, it felt like it was a 2-hour test. I don't know how to explain it, but it did, because it was all this online stuff. And you would answer this, answer that. They did like a typing test. It was a whole thing. And I did it, and I did get the job, but I almost feel like the fact that I was willing to do the test got me in, I swear. Because it was something. I don't think it was technically a test, but it felt like it. But it's kind of like, is it worth say it was a 2-hour thing. Is it worth that just to find out, just to solve the mystery? Just to see, is there something really there for you? That way it's either like, yep, okay, I know, yes, or yep, I know, no. I feel like it's easier. I just feel like it makes things a lot easier for you. And this is about your empowerment, obviously. And they're saying step forward into the spotlight. Because by doing that, you get success and you get the power. You get the control here. What do I really want from this? Even if you're going into a job and you're going to have managers and all the other good stuff, you know how that goes. You'll still be in a power position, like, this is what I will do, this is where I won't do, this actually does fit, this actually doesn't fit, this is where I will go, this is where I won't go. I feel like the education level for whatever you're dealing with goes way up. Kind of like, I know exactly what I want from this. I know what I want to do. I'm going to be fair. If you do step in that arena, if you do step forward in that way, there will be a moment of stress to where you're like, is this really something I want to jump into? Because I feel like once you get the information, you're going to know. You're going to know what you want to do, but it's not just about that. It's like, I feel like whatever this is, it's going to change a lot of what's going on in your life. So for example, if you were leaving one job to go to another, that's going to change a lot. If you're getting into a relationship, that's going to change a lot. If you're buying this property, whatever that was about, I do feel like that's going to change a lot, because I don't see you just kind of buying it going, oh, okay. For some reason, I feel like you're going to have plans for it. You're just like, I'll buy it and just let it sit there. Cool. I don't feel that for this situation. I understand sometimes you buy things to invest and you let them appreciate. I get that, but I don't feel that with this situation. So it seems to be changing things. It's giving me the hiccups and burps. Excuse me. That's a lot, because welcome to the world. You know how the world works. It may look great, but you're like, there's always a chance this won't be what I really want it to be. once, I feel like there's always that chance there's going to be those nerves, kind of like, even though I've done my due diligence and I've done everything I can, somewhere down the road, this may not be for me. And I got to make that active choice. I got to move forward. It's either, I'm going to use the applying for the job thing. You apply for the job, they're like, yeah, we want you. What do you get? Usually like a week, maybe 2 if you ask. You're like, can you give me 2 weeks? I don't feel like that's very often. Usually they like to know within a week, I feel, if I remember right. Although in my experience personally, if I'm applying for the job, I already know I want the job. So, but I do feel whatever this is, there's like a window, and the window doesn't last very long. That's another reason there's stress here, because I'm like, either gotta choose it or let it pass me by. Like, by letting it pass you by is still, that's a choice. You know that. You know how that works. I do feel, as the Capricorn energy I'm feeling, you will either say yes or no. I don't feel like you're just kind of default away. It's not what I'm feeling. But I think you're going to know this. I actually feel like this makes you feel more comfortable, ironically. And I'm not explaining the card yet because I'm letting it come in, because there's something, ironically, it makes you feel comfortable. Okay. Because you got the King of Pentacles reversed, which is ironically good for this too, and the Tower card. Some of this is going to need to be rebuilt, but there's a great foundation to start with. It's kind of like, reminds me of buying a house, and the foundation is good, the structure is good, the roof is good, but like the wiring has to be redone. There has to be some remodeling on the inside. Like the bones and structure are very good. The inside needs to be done and is already open to it. It's like it needs to be done. I think the reason you like this is kind of like you get to put your flavor into it. You get to create it the flavor you want. And it's kind of like, well, if I'm going to go that far, I'd like it to be what I want it to be anyway. I'd like it. I feel like I was going to shape it anyway. And it's kind of like, I love it, and then I'm also like, the Three of Swords is kind of like sadness. It's kind of like, it's great and it's not at the same time. It's like, it's great because I was going to do that anyway. It's not, because we're starting at that square one with that stuff. It's kind of like, if I'm going to do the house analogy, it's great because, again, I was going to do all this stuff anyway. It's not great because I really actually wanted to move right in, but the way this is going to go, I'm going to have to live somewhere else for X amount of time while I put this together at least enough, or because I've seen people do this, and I don't know what their signs were, where they fix up just enough of it, like they fix the bathroom up, the kitchen up, and a room to live in, and so that it's livable, and then they work on it as they're living in it. I've seen people do that, so that might be a version here, kind of like, oh, I don't really want to live like this, but at the same time, it is going to be what I want it to be, and I know that I have control to make it what I want it to be. So I do feel like you like this, though. I know those two cards together, but I feel like I was going to do it anyway, and the way it's going, it's going to get done because I need to get it done. It'll be there sooner than expected, and I want it to be the beautiful home that I want, which is clearly just an analogy, but you know what I mean. You get like a lot of strength. Whatever this is, it doesn't take as long as you think. I get that too, which is interesting. From what I know of Capricorn, got a lot of Capricorns in my family. Being ahead of schedule is acceptable and good only if quality matches expectations. I hope I said that right. Like, you'll be ahead. Being ahead of schedule is great if quality is where it needs to be, where you would expect it to be. So that's what I'm getting from this, because, like, again, a lot of Capricorns in my family. It has been said to me, it doesn't matter if you're ahead if you didn't do it well. If you sacrificed quality to get ahead of the situation, no. But this is like getting ahead of the situation, but quality matches. Quality is where you want it to be. So it's not going to take as long as expected, but it's going to be proper quality. Because I'm getting like the power of this. Is this the king or queen? Either way, it's you in control. Don't get caught up in the gender. And it doesn't take nearly as long as I expected it to. I just feel like things go right into place. It just seems like it's just lines right up, goes right in like dominoes, like Legos, like what you know, just like it just like bricks. I don't know how you want to say it. Just goes right where it needs to go, and it just feels like I feel like, and I've seen this with Capricorn. I haven't seen him in a long time. I think he actually passed away. It's a long time ago I knew him. He just, I remember things just lining up for him and him being very happy about it, but like he just kept, I thought he was overworking himself, but he wasn't. He got through it. He got through what he wanted to. It's like one of these projects he was going to take like 3 to 4 hours a week and do it. He ended up doing like 3 to 4 hours a day, and I was just like, oh my God, you're going to burn yourself out. He did not. And he got what he wanted, and he was very happy about it. And he had the quality. He was just inspired and excited to do it. So that might be one of those things that happens here. Kind of like, I'm excited, I'm inspired, I'm seeing this go where I want it to go. And you might just keep working on it, keep working on it, keep working on it. You're an earth sign. Earth signs, they seem to be able to do that and succeed, where they can just keep going, and succeed and not get burned out. I don't know how y'all do it. I'm a water sign, so I get burned out. I can't do that. I've tried and it doesn't work, but it may work for you. I feel like you already know if that works for you or not. Might be why you get there quicker. There's an energy coming up to match yours. There's a very supportive energy here. What does this card say? It says your loved ones are safe. I feel like when I'm seeing this card, there's kind of like a different feeling in the sense of like, you know, they feel like they feel very protected in your energy. They feel like this is going to work out. They can depend on you. As long as they uphold their side with the King of Cups, you'll uphold your side with the Queen of Pentacles, which don't get caught up in the genders, just saying it's a matching connection. They feel very secure. They just got to hold up their end, and you're easily going to hold up your end. I think we're there because this is going past 20 minutes. I've been going on for a while. I hope that's helpful. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.